this is gonna be like a more off the rails, longer esque video where I just kind of talk because I don't really want to make a full length video for Guilty Gear Strive having the game not come out. People thought I did that before with the old video I made on how to enjoy Guilty Gear Strive, but that was less of a video about how to enjoy Guilty Gear Strive, more of a video of how to play fighting games for beginners, kind of. But I titled it differently. Get those clickbaits, you know what I mean? But anyway, and that video was more of like a wrap up thoughts with being more edited, but I thought now I don't really want to do that because mad work and things could change, which is good. So let's talk about that first. In that last video that I made it a point that the most important thing, the most highlighted thing that should be done, should be said, is that talk. Get your voice, get your opinions out there because this game is still in beta. It was around, I think, February when that last beta came out, and we're now in the month of May. The game still isn't out, but that beta caused the game to get delayed because their vision for what it wanted to be wasn't exactly what it was. So that video I said, you know, talk, get your opinions out, say what you think is annoying. And I think people, well, nobody really, I'm not trying to say people were impacted by my video, but man, a lot of people got the idea wrong when they were talking about you know, getting your voice out there, because a lot of the complaining about what was wrong with the game, in my opinion, wasn't that bad. For example, people used to say that jumping was weaker or was too strong in Guilty Gear Strive from the first beta, right? And I agree with that. I think jumping was a little too good. I don't think it was impossible to anti-air, but if a person wanted to jump in chicken block the entire time, they could. They fixed that so that now your jump has a little bit more end-like, so now you have to FD to jump, which is a good idea. I'm happy that stuff got patched into the next game. However, when people were complaining about jump-ins in the last game, they weren't complaining about jump-ins. They were complaining about characters that have dumb jump-ins, right? And just off this beta, we gotta talk about Ram and Soul. They are like public enemy number one. To the point that like Ram and Soul feel like they're playing a whole different game of Guilty Gear, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But that's the first big problem with this beta. The other big problem with this beta is that them trying to change the air, I call it recovery. Them trying to change like the air, the mobility in the air, so it's, you know, less oppressive or the jumps. They somehow messed up ground to air combos. So Milia loops no longer work. Giovanna struggles to get extensions. I don't know. Anji obviously was in the last beta, but now Anji, if he ever does heavy Fujin extension in neutral, unless he gets a counter hit, the dash up, the only like real conversion he gets is like dash up 5k or dash up low k, and that's just really tough to hit. Like, it just made ground to air combos really dumb. But on the other hand, Giovanna can still do jump dust, air dash, jump dust like it's free. So could still do 1 5k, then corner carry you to the other corner, and then, you know, do whatever. So air to air combos are basically the same. Maybe they were a little nerfed, but like you still get what you want. But ground to air combos got significantly nerfed, which is a little disappointing because now certain characters have trouble getting consistent damage off of anti-airs. Like when you play against an Axel player, the thing about Axel, right, and what makes him like go from decent to like bad in this game. I didn't play a lot of Axels, and I didn't play Axel myself. I can't speak for it, but as me playing against the two or three Axels I played against, there's nothing stopping me from jumping, right? Because I jump in on Axel, maybe I take like 5% off of his stand P, and then it's just not that scary to run up on anybody in this game, unless like they're a character that actually gets good anti-air damage. I anti-air with Anji, I'm like, maybe I get fucking, if quarter circle forward triangle decides to hit, I may get, you know, 10% and Oki into a meaty air dash jump heavy slash, but I also it can hit at an angle and I get nothing. I just get the counter hit, and that's it. If even that, back to neutral. So that's a little alarming in this game. And with that, they nerfed Millia like bad. With that air change alone, Millia is kind of nerfed. I've seen things going around about how she can still like do air combos, but like her like loop that she used to be able to do on the ground with instant air dash jump K, it wasn't in a place where it was broken, and scaling was in the right place to where you didn't feel like you died during it. Now obviously that was in the beta, and I don't really know if now, or look, I don't even know if 5 months from now I would want to be getting jump K loop by Millia off of a combo, right? But I didn't really have a problem with it in beta, and I didn't see why that needed to be changed. And I didn't think Millia was top tier because of it necessarily, because her buttons still aren't Soul or Ram. So that's a little troubling, I'll say, but that's just the reality of things. What else is there about this beta? In terms of the lobby and the UI, the lobby's still bad. In fact, it's even kind of worse now, because standby training mode doesn't really work as efficiently because it just locks you to one booth, right? In my experience, I'm not sure if it actually does that, but from what I'm seeing, it locks you to one booth. So I just got like, I literally ran back against like the same guy 3 times in a row, and it was like, geez, I don't want to play Leo player, you know, whatever this guy is, who doesn't think and just presses 3 buttons. You know, I want to play somebody else. But I feel like in the last beta, because it would just like lock you into a fight anywhere, standby training mode was more, you know, applicable. But now you have to actually run around to machines and choose who you play, and that's boring. I don't really like that, because it's like, that's boring. I don't really wanna run around and try and like fight different people like in that means. So yeah, but like I was saying with the lobbies, I'm not really a big fan of the lobbies because I don't want to see them in any game. It's not just Guilty Gear, don't get me wrong. In fighters, I don't want to see the lobbies. Thank God Tekken doesn't have lobbies. Street Fighter 5, it doesn't have lobbies. Thank you. I don't want to see lobbies unless I'm trying to like play casuals with friends. When I'm just, man, I had a long day, I want to go home, I want to play some fighting games, I want to just enjoy my time, just play the game. I don't want to have to navigate through lobbies to do so. I want to press 2 buttons, be in an online setting, training mode if I choose, and then play. Oh, you found a new match. And yeah, but it just seems like they really don't want you to do that. And the lobby and ranking system is very contradictory, because the whole point of not putting rank in this game is obviously so that newcomers don't get dissuaded, because you put rank in any game and automatically newcomers become scared to play it, so you just play casuals, right? That's just how games are. That's why skill-based matchmaking is a thing. So, you know. Anyway, that's a thing. So they do that, and then you have a rating in matches that go up and down depending on you playing matches. And here's the thing, I don't care. I've played ranked in too many games online to care about rating going up or down. They're all imaginary points that you get back regardless. There's an infinity amount of them. Now maybe if there was a certain amount of points like in the prize pool and you can only get like maybe then, but most games don't do that, right? That's like top 500 type thing. But whatever. So this game kind of dissuades you from learning matchups, kind of in that sense for newcomers. But a newcomer that gets disheartened by getting put down a level or put down a floor, that's annoying, because they don't know what they're doing. Like, they don't know that you can grab Leo out of his run. They don't know that if you do anything but grab with certain characters, you will die. Like, you know, and then hold high-low mixes that can left-right you. You know, they don't know that 5P can be done really late to catch, you know, buttons that are kind of hasty. They don't know that you have to duck a lot of Eno's pressure, and that stroke to victory is low for some weird reason in this game. Like, it's like a thing of they've said in the past that they want to make a game for newcomers, but I don't really see the game in. I don't really see the newcomer aspect of the game in terms of the mechanics. I only see it in terms of the play style, like in terms of the buttons and stuff, which I don't really get how that's even newcomer. I only see it in the characters that are bad, and that's what we'll get into now. Actually, there's still dumb stuff in this game. There's still Guilty Gear-esque stuff in this game. Don't get me wrong. Like, in any game, there's gonna be moves you just have to. No matter what fighting game you make, there are gonna be annoying moves because there aren't. The game is boring. Like, and people need to start understanding that dumbing down these moves does not necessarily mean that the game is less interesting. It's maybe just more frustrating, right? Guilty Gear is no Tekken in terms of moves that Guilty Gear is no Tekken in terms of the amount of moves that you can mash to do dumb things. However, it is Tekken in the regard that there are moves that you have to beat a very specific way, and that have always been that way, and are still that way. Leo's run still has to be grabbed, right? Like, fucking Ino still has to be ducked in neutral because she could just know at any chance to hit you, so you don't get like a free walk-in on her. There's still like legacy Guilty Gear stuff in these games that, like, you know, Anji's Fujin, although it's kind of bad in this game, you still can't just do one reversal option against everything. It's still low-key a guess, right? So there's still a lot of Guilty Gear aspects in this game that they didn't nerf, which I'm happy that they didn't, but at the same time, I don't really get how those things could be in the game, but then Gatlings can't, right? And I've gotten over the need to complain about Gatlings because, to be honest, it just makes the game like shorter, right? Like, if you're really gonna talk about it, I don't think the Gatling change is that interesting because most characters that are good just do close slash or far slash, heavy slash from every range, or if they don't, they have a command number to cancel into. That's basically the same thing. Like, it's not really a problem to get rid of Gatlings, but at the same time, if it's not a problem to get rid of them, it wasn't a problem to keep them, right? And if you think Gatlings are the reason people are struggling with this game, it's not. It's because Stroke the Big Tree is low and does everything it does. It's because Soul is the way he is. And let's talk about those characters, because, man, this beta really did some interesting things. So one, everybody's nerfed. Everybody's nerfed except the top 3-4 characters in this game, and it is weird to me that they did that because I don't think anybody. Well, look, there was obviously some stuff wrong with the last beta. I'm talking infinites. I'm talking dumb soul stuff, dumb ram stuff, and a lot of the game breaking issues got nerfed, right? But with game breaking issues, a lot of the normal stuff got nerfed too, and that is the problem because Anji feels like a Guilty Gear Strive character, right? Really weird buttons, doesn't exactly confirm damage. You have to give up one option to do another option. No hard knockdowns really off of that are really conventional. Jesus. The only conventional hard knockdown that Anji really has is his grab. And even then, like, if you want to chicken block it, the only real mix in the grab is double low or a grab, right? And if you chicken block it, you basically beat both options if you do it at the right time in FD, right? And along with that, there's no mix. Like, I do butterfly with Anji. It's so slow. It only hits twice. The second hit has no real block stun on it, so there's no mix. It has just enough block stun for me not to be able to grab, but not enough block stun for me to actually be able to force another mix on them. It's just back in the Fujin. There's no real mix with the butterfly, and setting it up is really difficult, right? And that's Anji. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, maybe that's what they want though. They don't want newer players to the game to play against an Anji, get butterflied the entire game, then get mad, right? And I get that. And then I look at Ino. Antidepressant scale still moves up and down, still has 8 hits from full screen. It's damn near the same speed. Stroke the Big Tree is an easy way to get in. You can't really approach her too willy-nilly from the air because she could do the vertical, whatever that shit is called, the quarter circle back kick. That's just a straight horizontal move, like, so you can't approach her that well. She still has air dashes. They gave her a bounce. I'm not sure if she had bounce in the last game, but she has a bounce into other moves that keeps up her pressure that just goes high, low, high, low, high, low. You just have to keep guessing in the corner. Like, Ino feels like a Guilty Gear character. Anji feels like a Guilty Gear Strive character. And that's not just to Ino. Same thing with Soul. You can do Far S when you want. Gunflame has a really vertical hitbox on it. Like, I'm talking that unless you dash when you hear the gun, like unless you literally you were dashing before and they just chose to throw a bad Gunflame, you will 99% of the time get hit by it. It has now become a move you can follow behind. Like, and in the corner, the pressure never ends. Far slash, heavy slash, Gunflame, far slash, Gunflame, Gunflame, and for some weird reason, the pressure, the frames of it are so plus. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Ramathal 2. Ramathal chooses if she wants to play neutral. Truly, she really does. Does Ramathal want to throw a sword? She doesn't have to because her buttons are really big. Her anti-airs are also very good. She can anti-air with about 3 buttons. She doesn't even have to use her anti-air button to anti-air. She can anti-air about 3 buttons. She has an anti-air super that also beats wake up buttons, that also beats meaties, that also sends you full screen if it hits you, so you can't really get a punish on it. She also has a super that goes full screen, and if she has enough mirror to RC again, she can get a free high-low mix that you cannot see. That also chips you out. Her throws just seem really good. I'm not really gonna speak on that because I feel like everybody's throw in the game is the same. I'm not really sure if they are or not, so I'm not gonna speak on it. But her throw is annoying. Like, if a Ramathal just wants to throw, she can do it because, you know, you're so conditioned in neutral not press buttons against her that, like, she gets free run-ups. But that's just on you to do better and, you know, try and grab them. What else is done about that character? And all the characters I named, they all feel like they're good at the wall. For some weird reason in this game, the wall feels like a good mechanic for about half the cast, and then for the other half, it feels like it was so extra. Like, Soul gets a free wall break with no RC. He just does stand slash heavy slash Gunflame, and it gives him a free wall bounce. Anji doesn't get a wall bounce of anything. The only thing scary in the wall for Anji is his Fujin mixes, because if you hold a low, you could potentially hold 30%, and if you hold the high, you can potentially hold like 35-40%, right? But sometimes the wall doesn't break when you need it to. Ram just throws a sword in the wall, and it creates a frame trap where you can't do anything but block, so she just gets 3 free mixes. That's stupid. You also can't gold burst it or RC it because she gets 3 free mixes. And she's not actually near you. That's cool. You also can't really jump on Ram because all of her combos are weirdly burst safe. So that's also cool. So it's just like the top 3 in this character, the top 3 characters in this game, in my opinion, I look at them and I go like, yeah, I think this is what people would be happy with, right? I'm not asking them to nerf, well, they could nerf Ram Soul in probably May, right? But it's like, I don't think Ram Soul in May getting nerfed is like, I don't know, that's what you want to do. I'd rather than buff every other character and then nerf the really dumb stuff, like Far Slash being as good as it is, having damn near no hurt box, unless you miss time, and not being able to interrupt it because it's also plus. Like, it doesn't actually push you back because he moves forward while doing it. Like, the simple way to buff to nerf that move is just to make sure it doesn't move forward, because then you can actually FD it. But, you know, it doesn't matter because Soul just keeps running in front of you for free. So I wouldn't mind them nerfing that small stuff and then, you know, taking care of the big stuff. But there's some fundamental problems with this game that were always in the last beta, I think, but are a little more glaring now that people have time to play it. People had time to play it, right? Like, the wall feeling like a mechanic for some characters, like I just said. Chip, Soul, Mei, Ramathal, Zato, kind of Faust, like, but there's a good amount. Some of those characters, the wall is like free of them. They get a free wall break every round because their moves just trigger the wall to like hit it in a certain way that they just hit multiple times. Like May does one dolphin against you, it bounces you against the wall. Second dolphin against you, third dolphin, fourth dolphin, wall break, reset, neutral dolphin, right? So all of his moves bounce you off the wall. Like Ram literally gets 3 mixes at the wall. And the problem with all these characters that have really good wall options is that like their neutral isn't bad. That there's no range soul is bad in. Long range, good. Mid range, good. Close range, you don't even want to play the game. Same thing with Ram. Mid range has a overhead that you really have to be looking for, and you can RC it to make it safe. Free way to get in. Grab, really good because all grabs are good in this game. The swords in neutral, you have to actively be throwing to make those unsafe in neutral. Like, you know, anytime Ram Soul May gets near you, it's a mix. I literally had to play the May player yesterday that like he just kept doing dolphin, backdash, dolphin, right? And it was so sad that him doing one special move that has such a fast startup and then has almost no like recovery frames after it forced me to respond so vividly when I'm playing, forced me to respond like so aggressively when I'm playing Anji and my special move doesn't go anywhere. But let me get into Anji real quick because I actually played Anji for a lot of this beta and he was fun, to say the least. I think if you're looking for fun, this game has it. But that's every fighting game. Nobody really complains about any fighting game like actively not being fun, but there definitely needs to be other things around it, right? So Anji, fucking Anji. Anji's bad in this game, and not bad because like his everything about him is bad, because obviously there are some characters in some games, they're just bad, right? Like, I don't have to sit here and tell you why fucking Fat Boo isn't that good in Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? Or sit here and tell you why who's the low tier character? Why Nash isn't that good in Street Fighter 5. You look at the character, you see him, and you're just like, okay, yeah. Right? But Anji isn't one of those characters where everything is just bad. Anji's one of those characters where everything could be good and he's so close to being like a decent character, but the game plan that he has to play around is just too random. It's just so like brain dead, right? Butterfly doesn't work. It doesn't work. The only mix, it's hella slow, and the reason why like I'm really annoyed at how slow it is and how ineffective the mixes are is that they nerfed both of it. They nerfed the fact that that the second hit doesn't have as much stun. And look, second hit not having as much stun is a subjective nerf, right? I'm pretty sure there's setups that work with, no stun compared to more stun, but I don't really care about that, right? Because at the end of the day, I want lockdown, I want something real, and a lot of people could just chicken block the butterfly, so not real. That's an option. For the butterfly, also, DPing the butterfly saves you. Like, if you just DP the butterfly, it'll hit you in a way that you recover faster because you recover really well in the air. So that's another thing. Butterfly is not only nerfed in terms of effectiveness, it's nerfed in terms of the speed. You can't really use butterfly outside of a hard knockdown, and in this game, hard knockdowns are really hard to get. Like, you can get a hard knockdown from doing like the only one of his moves that lead to a hard knockdown is his quarter circle forward triangle where he leaps in the air, but unfortunately that move doesn't hit from like any range. That move hits from like when I'm damn near on close to you kissing a homie. That move doesn't hit from any range, so unfortunate. And the fact that it's so slow, butterfly is just too slow. I get a sweep off of it, I don't get a butterfly. If I go into a quarter circle forward triangle move, I don't even land fast enough to get a butterfly. I have to air dash in and get a mix. The other thing about the butterfly is you choose the second that you see me on the ground, you don't have to block high. There is nothing I can do to you on the ground where you have to block high. I don't think Shishu hits high, because they just wouldn't really. I don't think they do that, right? Because unblockable just shouldn't be a thing in the year 2021. It's too late in the lives of fighting games to put unblockables in your game and have it like be serious, right? Nowadays, because that's what fighting game developers think. But I digress. Nah, if you see Anji on the ground when he's doing that, you have no reason to worry about a high. Unless you see him Fujin. But at that point, you can jab. Or you can just OS it, because you can OS Fujin. If you see me in the air, you don't ever have to worry about a low, because I definitely can't do it. Like, there's no real high-low mix to Fujin. The only mix is grab or buttons low. And once you learn to just hold, you can distinguish the two. You can also FD to make buttons not actually work. It's just bad. Not Fujin, sorry. Off the butterfly, sorry. It's just bad. And along with that, there's also Fujin. Fujin is also bad. Not because it's an awful tool, but because it's a scrub killer. Like, Fujin is similar to past games in which you can't beat everything with the same option, of course, but there are some options that you just take more than other. It's kind of like in Tekken, right? You take lows if you have 100% health, right? And the opponent is at 20% in a game like Tekken. You take that low because who cares? He better do that low 8 other times. Cause I'll take 7 of those lows until I'm forced to block high to low. I knew what I was blocking. I know what the risk versus reward of a lot of options are, and unfortunately, the risk versus reward of Fujin is not there because everybody just bursts it. And it's very easy to burst bait it because, or to burst it because if you try and do the heavy extension of it, if you do far slash and the heavy slash, and then they burst that heavy slash, you can't recover fast enough for the heavy slash to not get burst. And if you do far slash and the Fujin by itself, it doesn't combo. So, oops, it just creates this point where like Fujin's good, but it's not really good. It's like a scrub killer. If you literally up back tech a lot of Fujin, you'll beat every option besides delayed low, and off a counter hit, delayed low does not give you anything. If you see the counter, delayed low gives you nothing. If you have 50% meter now, you get 30%. And that's cool, and I like that. But at the same time, it's like, none of the Fujin options really feel that scary. The jump is probably honorable mention because it catches people a lot more than it does, but same thing with like, you play the Anji matchup enough times, like, it's just gonna work. So that's unfortunate. And surprisingly, Anji's dance is really good in this game. If I can say anything about Anji, his dance is good. Not the Fujin dance, but his dance. Oh, one more thing, sorry. Also, there are some really, like, off things about where Fujin hits. Like, for some reason, if you do far slash, heavy slash, and heavy slash confirms, some ranges Fujin won't hit unless you hold the button down, so you're kind of resetting them when you want to just get pressure. It's little things like that I feel like Anji can be a little better if they just do simple things. But yeah, he definitely needs an adjustment, I think. And if they don't want him to do butterfly mixes, just take the butterfly out of the game. Like, they don't be scared to do something to where you feel obligated to do a character's move, but to not actually do it justice, because people are gonna be more mad. I wouldn't be as mad. Okay, I would be annoyed if butterfly's out the game, right? But also, like, I'd rather butterfly be non-existent than it be in this weird neutered form where you don't even use it, So, oops, I guess. But besides all that, Anji's dance is really good. It's very good against certain matches where opponents don't really care what you're doing. Like when you're playing Mei characters, when you're playing Mei players, the dance is probably your best tool because it gives you a properly spaced punish into his quarter circle forward triangle. You can do 2K into 2D into quarter circle forward triangle, and you get air dash off of the quarter circle forward triangle into a meaty jump heavy slash. That's good. I like that. His dance is also real because you can super after it, and when I was testing it last night, it all worked. Now, like I said, don't know how effective this will be in the main launch of the game, but I urge everybody to talk about their characters and really put that out there. But in the current state of where Guilty Gear Strive is, I would say I'm a little worried because they went in the direction to nerf a lot of things, and the nerfs, I don't really see. One, let me address one thing. I don't really see what this delay in Strive coming out from now to June did with the gameplay of it, because the gameplay is very similar. It's just a lot less of what was happening before. Like, instead of Giovanna looping you to the corner, now Giovanna keeps you full screen. But Soul can do it instead, so it doesn't really matter, right? So in terms of the game being more complete, I can't really see it from the modes they gave us that bought them these 3 or 4 months from these 2 months, these 2 months from April to June. I don't really see where this extra 2 months of development time really brought them, because the battle balance is a lot worse in this game. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think anybody really wants to say it, because, you know, people are so stuck up on, all right, let's be positive, all right, but at the same time, you can't give constructive criticism. But here's the thing, right? I like Guilty Gear Strive. I think it's a really fun game. I have probably played Guilty Gear Strive more than I've played any other Guilty Gear game. That's cap, actually. Not yet. But I am going to play Guilty Gear Strive more than I've played any other Guilty Gear game, especially against people, right? However, I want Guilty Gear Strive to be in a good place, which means that I'm gonna complain about things that are dumb to me. And I'm not saying that you can't sit here and play the game how you want to play it and see that Anji is low tier and like, man, I love Anji's low tier, and see that Soul is just doing far S 8 times and going like, that's the smell of the game. Like if that's you, that's cool, but like that's not me. I don't think that's cool. I don't like that. So I'm gonna talk about it. And if you don't want to talk about it, then that's cool. Like, have the game come out on launch, then you're gonna see people slowly stop playing it, and then you're gonna be confused why people slowly start playing it. And then when people say, like a year from now, hey, Guilty Gear Strive wasn't that good, man, and to be honest, we never really talked about it, then you're gonna be like, I guess, when you hear some pro Japanese player say it, because, you know, people are really biased to Japanese pro players. So anyway, but that's a whole different conversation for a whole different time. Besides the point, Guilty Gear Strive is in a weird place right now, because I think a lot of what made the game fun was the brokenness of the game. I'm not talking about like wave dashing as Soul and getting, you know, a full kill off of full meter with Potemkin. That's stupid, right? But I'm talking about like the air combo links, Milia's loops. A lot of characters just feel like a lot more. Characters feel toned down, while certain characters just don't. And to be honest, it's kind of sad, because I really don't see them moving in a way where they make everybody better. I see them moving in a way where they make Ram, Soul, and Mei worse. And in my head, right, I'm thinking, I don't want that, because I personally think it'll make a game that's more boring, right? Guilty Gear has always been, in my opinion, about all broken characters doing broken shit. In this game, it feels like that's like the direction they're gonna go in. I hope they don't do that. I don't know. Arc Systems will never probably see this video, and I'll probably get some dumbass comment on it again that won't actually watch the video and just instead talk about, oh, you know, wait till the game comes out. But I don't want to wait till the game comes out, because if I wait till the game comes out and it's still like this, it's not gonna last me as long as I want it to. So that's a little alarming. That's unfortunate. But other than that, besides just the characters, that was just a big expose on the characters and a lot of the game mechanics. Besides that, the game actually, a lot of it doesn't feel bad. The music is bad. Let's not even cap about that. Look, I don't know if I was sad or relieved to see that Anji's theme wasn't in the game, because I wanted to listen to the real version of it, but then I realized, man, it could have lyrics on it, and these motherfuckers don't know how to make these lyrics sound good. It's just not. It's not it. Sorry, it's not it. The only song I could listen to in this beta is Faust's Name, because the melody in the back is going so crazy, and I can only hear about one verse of what the guy is saying, so I don't really care about the song. But other than that, Smile of the game is alright. It takes too long to hit the actual, you know, chorus, so kind of sucks. I got spoiled with the E3 trailer one instead. Oh, not the E3, the Evo trailer one instead of the real one, right? And everybody else, just no. No. Still don't have Zato's theme. Still don't have Milia's theme. Still no Ino. Still no Anji. Like, I don't. It's whatever at this point, right? It's just all interesting. But let's wrap this up. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. I'm like a 30-minute video, but I really don't care. I am optimistic towards the changes that they make right now, but realistically speaking, don't expect much from release. Like, I think that if you should really talk about all these things, but do not expect much from the release of this game, because I firmly believe that this game's release will not be what people want it to be, right? But it's okay, because Guilty Gear looks good enough and plays fun enough to the point that, like, the patch will come. It has to come. And it's always unfortunate when games are like this, because people are saying it's reverse MVCI or whatever, right? But I think that's kind of like, you know, you'll see which one sells better. That's all I gotta say, right? But I don't say that like as a offense. I'm just saying that, like, you can make that observation, but it doesn't matter because you know what sells and what doesn't, right? But anyway, or what demographic you're selling to. You know, Guilty Gear players are casuals to Guilty Gear. Don't play Guilty Gear for gameplay. They play it because Ram's dies are out. Like, come on, let's be honest. This is how it is. But you know, sick individuals. But what can we say? Well, when you're trying to apply the MVCI, looking for comic book fans, and it's just like, if the game doesn't look good, it's just not gonna do whatever. But anyway, yeah, Guilty Gear Strive's in a weird point right now because it's gonna have, unless they do a lot, right? And I don't think they can do as much in this June release window, especially with COVID and everything like that. So unfortunately, it's probably gonna have a lackluster launch. I want to be proven wrong by this, right? So don't just say, oh, he said this. I want to be proven wrong, but Guilty Gear is probably gonna have a little of a lackluster launch, and then the patch that is the balance patch either on launch, or the patch that is the balance patch that comes out like a month or 3 weeks into the game, that's gonna make or break the game in terms of like people playing it. But this is Arc System Works' baby. It's like their child. I don't think they would sit here and let the game shrivel up and die. And I think they're very aware of what the major problems are. Now, the minor problems that will add up in the end, that can get fixed later, but the major problems should probably get addressed now. So yeah, but I'm very hopeful for Guilty Gear Strive. Overall, I enjoyed the beta. It was fun to play. Kind of sucks that it was only 2 days, and you know, I just think they should make a week of beta time. I think if they make like a week of beta time, they can get more accurate information, which can't happen now. And man, I was kind of holding the hope that like the game would just launch. Like this beta would be open, and be like, alright, you can buy the game right now and you get it today. But nah, not happening. But here's hoping for Guilty Gear Strive. I hope you guys all play it, and when it comes out, you guys should ask me to play viewer matches. I'd love to play some with you guys. Maybe I'll do like a stream thing. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv Jasn_TM. So I stream there if you guys ever want to. Or I think it's not underscore. It's just Jasn TM. Sorry. If you guys want to pull up there and never ask me for viewer sets, I'm always there. Usually when the game launches, at least. So, alright, see y'all later.